Bartow from the Montana Office of Public Instruction. I'm here with Deb Mitchell from the Montana Historical Society. We'd like to welcome you to this second digital blast to share information and resources from the Montana Historical Society. Before we get started, just to kind of help you navigate, as you look at your screen, you might see on the left-hand side, if you hover over, a couple of buttons. One is to click for links to the resources that we're going to share, and also a button to click to ask questions. The neat thing about this is that if you're watching this as a recording later on, you can join the Hangout and still ask us questions. So please feel free. We have some viewers out there. If you'd like to ask questions, go ahead and enter those in. Feel free to look at the links to the resources. And at this point, I think we're ready to launch on.
I'm ready.
All right, Deb.
Well, like Kohl said, I'm Deb Mitchell. I'm from the Montana Historical Society, and I work in the education department. So one of my jobs is to develop lesson plans and help develop lesson plans. And as everybody knows, we have one of the best collections of Charlie Russell art at our museum. And first, we'd like to invite you just to come and see that. But if you're somewhere where you can't visit us, we have developed a great new packet that has Russell lesson plans and photographs of his works and lots of really cool things, biographical PowerPoints that you can tap into and use in your classrooms. So I want to visit that a little bit today. And Colet's going to be driving here, so we're going to see if she can get us to the educators page.
That's right. So you'll see the link here, and the link is in the showcase in the recording. But let's go ahead and pull up the website for you to look at.
And this is our home page. And if you go up to the very top, there's an educator. It says Education and Events, and scroll down and go to the Educator Resource page. And if you do nothing else, get to this page and just visit it and scroll through it and look at all of the resources that we have available for you. It's an amazing gold mine of things that you can use in the classroom.
It really is. Last week we talked about the hands-on history footlockers, and
right.
That's going to be something that might be familiar to those who watch that broadcast as well.
But today we're going to talk about the integrating art and history, and we've developed, like I said, the new Russell packet, and it used to be actually a footlocker that we send out all about Russell, and we've redeveloped it and kind of jacked it up a little bit into the 21st century and got it all digitized. So we're really excited about this.
I wonder what Charlie would think about that. I love it.
Yeah, that should be part of the lesson to write something and see what Charlie would think about this.
Yeah, oh, great idea.
At this time, we only have it online available for you online, but we do have packets that we are going to be sending out to all of the libraries, and that'll be right around October the 15th. So you can look for it to come into the library, but if you want your own packet and any extras that we have, we will send out. You can give either myself or Martha Kohl or a call or email us, and we can send you your own packet. So if we go to the first screen, I guess it's the second screen. I'm just going to go over what is in this packet. And there's lots of great tools to be able to use. First, we have 2 PowerPoints that are in there, and each of the PowerPoints comes with a script. And we have one that is provided more for elementary type students from, I'm guessing, grades 1 to 5. And then we also have a PowerPoint with a script that's for the upper grades. The difference in those is mainly the language and the vocabulary list that come with it. And the upper grade one does go into a little bit more detail about the biography of Charlie Russell. The elementary one is a little more limited and just kind of hits the highlights. So both of them are available to use however you see fit. And then, like I say, the scripts are there, so it's very, very user-friendly.
It's great to have that to be able to adapt and use in any of those levels of the classroom.
Yeah, yeah, and that was our goal here, is to provide something that was available for elementary up to 12th grade. So it's a great tool to be able to have and use.
That's great.
We also have a PowerPoint that has all 15 of the Russell images that are used in the packet. When you do get the packet, it comes with some very, very beautiful 8 by 10 glossy prints of Russell work. And we've tried to be very diverse in his work. There's paintings, there's watercolor, there's sculptures. So a lot of different types of medium that can be viewed and looked at and talked about within the classroom. To get those images online, however, you don't get the pretty glossy ones, but we do have them available for you to download and print off.
Oh, that's great. Always want to give credit to your source, and
That's
so don't
right.
lose track of that.
That's right.
They come from the Montana Historical Society
exactly.
collection.
All of these images come from the Montana Historical Society. These are pieces that we have in our collection. Now we'll kind of talk about the lesson plans. There's 3 hands-on type art lesson plans, which was our big goal, is to combine art lessons with the historical piece of it. And for grades 3 to 5, these were all developed by a teacher, which is very, very important to us. We want to make sure that all of these do work in the classroom, so we do have teachers and educators develop these lesson plans for us. And the first one is Watercolors of the Big Sky. It's geared for grades 3 through 5. And it uses the Russell art to help students explore the compositional elements of foreground, middle ground, and background. And then it has them create their own landscape and, inspired by nature and using watercolors. So they also learn how to use watercolors through Russell techniques. So it's a really great opportunity to teach the smaller kids watercolor.
That is a beautiful integration of art with our local history, our artists that we're familiar with, and just really nice approach.
Yes, and we're really excited. This is a new approach for us, so we're really excited to be able to test the grounds on this, and do want to hear feedback from the teachers as to how it works. Illustrating a la Charlie Russell. This is really interesting because what it's doing is asking students to explore how Russell used washes of watercolor and ink techniques to create shadow and depth in his illustrations. And I learned a lot through this. There's hatching and cross hatching, the shadowing and stuff, and then the students are asked to provide an image and illustrate using these techniques. And then the beauty of it is you can extend this to be able to be paired with a poem, a short story, or a letter that they've written. So a great opportunity again to use techniques that Charlie used, and they can incorporate it into their own artwork. And then Figures in Motion, which is geared more for the 7th through 12th grade, but it's using paintings and sculptures as inspiration from Charlie Russell, and they'll create their own 3-dimensional images and sculptures, and they'll translate line drawings to wire armatures and simulate the bronze sculptures that Russell has done. So I think these are great opportunities to learn how Russell worked and how he thought about his work and set things up.
That's great.
Now we also have included 5 lesson plans to engage the students to learn about history. The first one is grades 1 through 7. It's an artist's journey. It's transforming a painting into poetry. Both of these are very artistic mediums, and so you can change the painting, look at a painting, and then change it into words, into poetry. And the little students really like this, and we also experimented with some of the older students And they just took to it like I really didn't think. I thought they might think it was too immature, too elementary for them, but they loved it. They loved being that creative, and it was.
I think that's the key, that creativity, tapping into that student interest and letting them use their words.
Exactly,
Really,
exactly.
Really.
And then grades 3 through 7, there's a lesson plan called The Rest of the Story, which is really, really great because it extends the moment that the painting has created, and extends it on. What's gonna happen after the story? What's gonna happen after he catches the cow? What's gonna happen after the bear falls off the cliff? All of these things. So it really again makes them use their imaginations. And then Living with Animals, it's talks about Russell's relationship with animals, and not only domestic animals like horses and cattle, but also the wild animals, the deer, the elk, and it's a great opportunity to again learn about the natural world through paintings. And then Russell on Indians aligns with the essential understandings, and all of these align with the Common Core. But this one aligns with the essential understandings, and it's really a great way to talk about stereotypes and how Russell viewed Native Americans and how he kept from creating that stereotype. So it not only teaches them about the art, but also teaches them about the idea of culture and not to stereotype.
How we represent the peoples that we have in Montana.
Correct. Yeah.
Nice.
And then there's What Don't You See? And the historical accuracy of Charles and Russell paintings. We're always looking at paintings and we look at them and say, oh, I see this, I see that, I see that. But we never look at them and say, oh, I didn't see this, and I didn't. So we're trying to get outside the box here a little bit, and have the kids look at it and say, well, maybe he should have done this, or maybe he shouldn't have done this, and so that they're providing their own view and perspective of the painting, and
maybe thinking like a historian,
exactly,
and thinking like an artist at
exactly.
the same time.
Yeah. So it's art is a great way to teach history, and you just have to remember to source whose art you're looking at, and make sure that they're historically accurate. And Charles Russell is one of the better ones to do that with.
That's great.
We've also incorporated some tools into this. I don't know if anybody is familiar with visual thinking strategies, but it's a tool that's used. It's the alphabet term for it is VTS. It uses art to deepen learning across the disciplines. It's a great way to teach math, and it can cross over into math. It can cross over into English. Debate is a really good discipline to use this in.
It's speaking and listening.
Correct.
And writing very much so. I think are great applications that are brought out in the visual thinking strategies.
Especially listening. Kids learn to listen to their classmates and really listen to what they're saying. And that's a skill that needs to be learned. It's not something that just happens.
Right.
It strengthens the foundational skills that are critical for the Common Core, and everybody is so worried about the Common Core and fitting all of this stuff into it. This just fits into there just perfectly. It provides a way to jumpstart a process of learning to think deeply and extending into other subjects like we've talked about. And then the most important thing that I feel is important, it teaches students to find evidence to support statements.
And that's a critical component of the Montana English Language Arts Common Core standards. Is that students need to be speaking and writing from evidence, and the rich resources that we have with the art of Charlie Russell, or primary sources like we'll see in some of the other parts of this series are very key to that student success and communicating effectively.
And it's also, I've learned a lot from this just in my everyday life, learning how to use this in everyday life as listening to people and clarifying what they're saying, and learning to look a little deeper and finding that evidence to back up my statements. So it's helped me personally tremendously.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you were looking for this, this is the website for the direct, to get directly to this particular Russell packet. And like I said, we will be putting them out in October and sending them to the libraries, but don't hesitate to give us a call, and we would be more than happy to send you one of your very, very own.
Well, we can't wait for these to land in schools. And the links, again, you see it on the screen, contact information for both Deb and Martha Kohl are also found on the Montana Historical Society webpage. We just want to remind you quickly that we have 2 more items that we're going to discuss on the next 2 Tuesdays. The next one is an in-depth look at the Montana Stories of the Land textbook and the online resources that go with that. And then we're going to wrap up this 4-part series talking about the Montana Women's History Project. So thank you very much for watching and listening in. We really appreciate your feedback, and so you can use that question and answer if you are watching the recording, or you can send any of us an email. I'm cbartow@mt.gov, CBARTOW @mt.gov, and Deb.
D. Mitchell, DMITCHELL @mt.gov.
Great, so thank you so much, and we'll see you next week.